Hey guys, how's it going? This is Adam on a much nicer day with another video recipe for you. This time I am making a baked 5-cheese ziti, starting with this beautiful Fontina cheese we have here that I had to take out a mortgage for. We also got some pizza mozzarella, some Parmigiana Reggiano. We also have some Romano cheese. We have really nice pasta here that's been dry aged, so it's not really yellow, and really good tomatoes. Not the best tomatoes, but just better than your middle of the shelf tomatoes. These are going to make a huge difference with less acidity. So go ahead, dump them into a bowl, hand crush everything, get everything nice and as chunky or as smooth as you want it. I kind of like to get everything smooth. I also like to add a little bit of water to the can, give it a little swirl, and dump that right back in there. This water is going to cook out anyways, and we're getting all that tomato juice. Make sure you season everything up. I used some salt, I got some cracked black pepper in there, and I didn't record this, but I added some fresh oregano and some dried basil as well. So give that a good mix, and then get your garlic ready. I like to slice mine lengthwise, and I like to chop it the other way. It doesn't really matter what you like to do or how you like to do it. I take my time, and eventually you're going to be left with a pile of garlic, whether you're doing it with one hand on the knife or whether you're doing two hands on the knife. Eventually you're going to be left with what you need, which is just a little pile of garlic. That was 4 cloves of garlic in all. I got some Parmigiana Reggiano, some mozzarella shredded up, as well as my other cheeses. Make sure you generously salt your pasta water, because what's going to happen is if your pasta is not salted, it's going to pull the salt out of your sauce. Make sure you melt some butter for what we're going to be making our Alfredo here. We're using equal parts butter and flour. As you can see, it got a little hot, so I decided to pull it right off the element and swirl everything around until it cooled down, just so I didn't burn the butter. And then with the garlic, this is important too. As soon as you get the garlic in there, as soon as you can smell it, it's time to start adding something else. So I went ahead and added my flour, an equal part to the butter, 1/4 cup each, and you just give it a good mix until it kind of turns into a paste. This is what's going to thicken up our Alfredo sauce. So I went ahead and added some heavy cream. It's supposed to be half and half, but I decided to go for cream, and I found out very quickly the results of that is it thickened up on me very, very fast, which makes sense because there's less water in cream than there is in half and half. So as soon as I added my mozzarella cheese and my Parmigiano Reggiano, it was already getting too thick to the point I had to take it off the heat, go to the fridge, add a little bit of milk, and kind of water everything down, and then just keep taking it off the heat and mixing it until it was thick enough. And once it was thickened, it's kind of ready to move on to our noodles. We have our pasta water boiling, so let's go ahead and drop our pasta in there. We want it to be just under al dente because we're going to be baking this again. So just make sure that everything is not overcooked, otherwise it's going to be mush. I seasoned my roux mixture with salt and pepper, and then I went ahead and added the tomatoes in and gave it a good mix. So you're going to want to let this cook down for a while. You're going to want to kind of give it a good mix. It's going to be very watery or soupy, which is good because we're going to be adding pasta, and the starch from the pasta is going to really help thicken everything up. So we don't want to get this to the point where we're ready to sit down and eat it. We want it to be really, really runny. We want there to be a lot of extra moisture. We can go ahead, we can add our mozzarella, we can go ahead and add the Parmigiano Reggiano, which again, I didn't record. And then I'm actually kicking in a clove of fresh minced garlic, just because fresh garlic at the end is gonna have a different flavor profile. Everything was looking good here, so I went ahead and just topped up a baking dish full of this beautiful mixture with this rosé sauce. I topped everything with some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano, and then I went and kind of blotted it with some mozzarella. You don't need to go crazy. Sometimes if you smother it with mozzarella, it doesn't really brown, and it kind of doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. So I went ahead and baked this at 375 for a half an hour. That's 15 minutes covered with foil and 15 minutes uncovered, and I was greeted with this beautiful top, which is everything looks really, really how I was hoping. You know, we got some brown bits on there, we got some dry noodles, we got a lot of sauce, and when you zoom in, you can see that molten surface area, and just the flavor in this dish is absolutely amazing. Make sure you season along the way with sea salt. That's gonna make or break your dish, so make sure you're always seasoning along the way and making sure it tastes good. This looked good, so I went ahead and just dug a spoon in there and got myself a portion. Everything was nice, it's saucy, it's rich, the cheeses are in there, the noodles were cooked to perfection. Just a beautiful dish to serve with some salad to kind of break everything up. And I know I dug in right away, but I sat down as a family and we all just enjoyed this beautiful ziti al forno. So thank you very much for watching me cook food.